wasn't that excellent? And very interesting contributions from all of them. I think to be fair to Jennifer Mean, the leader of Lancashire Council, she was a little bit in election mode, taking every opportunity to have a pop at the government because she's under great pressure with the formation of a budget. But I think for the purposes of this conference, she really outlined Lancashire's commitment to support business, both in financial terms, but also in the sort of policy strategies that they're doing, working with the combined authority and things like that. So there's a lot on her plate, but clearly a pro-business message from Jennifer. Good debut, I thought, by Emma Degg. She's not widely known, I don't think, new leader of the North West Business Leadership Team. She actually explained what that was going to be about, and she was saying Lancashire had a very prominent role in that, and that's looking at it from her point of view, from a regional perspective. And then of course Ruth Connor, absolutely excellent, bringing us all the news from MIPIM, which I think is an organisation partly promoted by Downtown. We've interviewed Sir Howard Bernstein a lot over the last few years, getting people to understand, you know, there's always easy to make jokes about people swanning off to Cannes and all that sort of thing, but I think people have got a better understanding now that really important discussions take place there, and even some actual business deals are done. Yeah, I think to begin with, under George Osborne's leadership, I think we remember him, it was a bit city focused, a bit Manchester, a bit Liverpool, and people didn't quite see what was in it for them, for the wider community. But I think both through sort of inspirational leadership at a political and business level, and also because people have demanded that you've got to look at the whole of the north, you can't just look at the cities, the Lancashire's really starting to push its way into the door and actually be accepted, because there are great things going on here, aerospace and digital, all sorts of things, and tourism and quality of life. I think that's, if I had a two-penneth, I'd be saying Lancashire needs to really promote the quality of life that you get in the county. I think it will depend on whether people look at the local record of the Labour Party, and, you know, generally speaking, I don't think Jennifer Mean's put a lot of feet wrong. She's promoted business. She's tried to wrestle with this elderly care issue. She's had the fracking issue, which they've stayed neutral on. She has stayed neutral on personally, but obviously the Development Control Committee came out against it. There have been issues in Fishergate in Preston about, you know, drivers going up and down, and sometimes these fairly local issues can make a difference in certain wards. But generally speaking, I don't think she's blotted her copybook locally. The huge issue is, of course, how she's going to be affected by the turmoil going on in the Labour Party. And almost as the local election campaign was launched, the Labour Party tore itself apart once again. But we've seen that pattern over the years. Westminster politicians pay very little attention to what the foot soldiers have got to try and do in the country. So if people are voting on Corbyn, I would have thought she'll be out. If they vote on the local record, I think it could be a lot closer, and maybe the Liberal Democrats gain a few seats and the continuation of this understanding, or even perhaps a coalition administration at County Hall.
Well, I think you've mentioned Boost. It's absolutely fantastic, the success we've had with that and the number of businesses that we've already helped. I'm absolutely passionate about the need to support local business, because I think the finances of public services are very, very challenged, and I think in order for people not to need public services, they obviously need the opportunity for a decent job that's well paid, live in a decent home, have good infrastructure to get to and from work. And I think the more that the County Council can do to actually support businesses to grow, all of those things will then follow suit. So I'm absolutely passionate about it. The challenges are absolutely massive for us, and we're working very, very hard with government to try and lobby them to get the finances changed in the way that we can actually support the people that really need our help. But in order to make sure that there are fewer people that need our help, they need access to good quality schools, jobs, homes, and I think that if we can support business, they will provide all of those things for us. Lancashire is a very, very important partner. Very important partner. I think I've spoken recently with a number of people, particularly Sir Howard and Sir Richard, who recognise that for the Northern Powerhouse to succeed, Lancashire has to succeed. And we've had the recent example of the Rail North and Transport for the North. The Secretary of State, Chris Grayling, has agreed that Transport for the North will be the first sub-regional transport body, and that's very much due to the fact that we've worked so well with them. Myself from Lancashire a representative from Merseyside, a representative from Cheshire went along with the Chief Exec and Chair, Sir John Cridland, who's been an excellent chair, to see Chris Grayling and put the case forward for it being a sub-regional body, and he's recognised that and announced it last week. So I think that says itself how important Lancashire is to the success of Transport for the North and the Northern Powerhouse itself. Well, I think I can understand some scepticism, and I can understand there's a little bit of protectionism there as well. But in my view, there's nothing to lose by becoming a part of the combined authority. And it's only as a combined authority that we can punch our weight with Transport for the North. So I think just go with it, go with it. There's always an opportunity going forward if you wish then to change your mind, but at the present time there's nothing lost by being a part of it and absolutely everything to be gained. I've been to various meetings across the country, and people across the country are recognising Lancashire, the way Lancashire has progressed, come forward, and actually looking to us as exemplars of the way things can be done.
I think a northern powerhouse without Lancashire isn't a powerhouse. And it's that leadership role that I'd like to see the county really stepping up to. There's so much good stuff that happens here, particularly around advanced manufacturing, productivity and those sorts of agendas. That's the scale I'd like to see spread across the north. There's so much good stuff going on there that actually I'm taking all 4 of our board members who lead on different themes, productivity, skills, science and infrastructure, along to meet the management team there to do it all in one place. So some of that work is around the Strategic Innovation Audit partnership across with Sheffield, which is great stuff that we again want to spread in terms of the Northwest around some of those things that's going on, and our businesses are really keen to support. Some of that is around the work of around the business school, specifically around productivity and productivity through people, that we think has national lessons, and certainly the National Productivity Council led by Charlie Mayfield are going to be coming up and having a look at some of that work at our invitation. Again, Lancashire doesn't just have a role in terms of promoting itself. I think Lancashire has a role in terms of helping to design what the future of advanced manufacturing needs to look like.
One, I think it was that we showed that we are open for business, that we want more inward investment in Lancashire. I think that was one of the messages we took out there. One was really to learn, listen, find out how people who've been doing it for like 20 years and what the benefits are, and actually how it all works when you're out in Mepping, because you've got like 20,000 people. So how do you cut through that to get the most out of it? So we set up meetings in advance. We had meetings while we were there because we caught up with people we'd never met before or we'd not seen for a while. And I think what was encouraging was the fact that the response that we got, Lancashire's here, finally, and actually we want to do business, can we talk some more? So I've had tons and tons of follow-up since we got back on Friday night, and I think there could be a few sort of exciting sort of projects that might develop and lead to something more. And I think the piece for me, what I learnt from it is, make some announcements while you're there, again to create that noise and that interest, but also probably use the opportunity for developers to also launch what they're doing as well, because I think, you know, you've got some real credible professionals, haven't you? And if they're talking up the place that they're prepared to take that risk in investing, then it can only be a good thing. And I think the last thing is really, we've got credible product offer, we need to take it to market stronger, but you also need to be looking ahead. So much as the as is very strong in terms of what we've got to offer, we need to get it out there better, but 2, what's next, what's in the pipeline, you know. So learned a great deal from it, yeah, and definitely go back next year. You know, we were out there, we saw Cheshire, we saw Liverpool, working with Manchester. I think it's about, again, having that sense of ambition, and you know, it's not little old Lancashire. You know, we've definitely got that confidence and ambition, and you know, to punch at the weight we should be punching at in terms of we're a credible partner, and like, you know, the Northern Powerhouse, we're part of that, and it won't be as strong without Lancashire. I think there's definitely a drumbeat been created in this momentum, and I think the more you do, the more's expected, which is a good thing. So I think, yeah, definitely when we set out to sort of do more strategic marketing and get our voice out there and sell ourselves better, is simply, I think people now going, this is working. So it's just sort of, what more can we do? So I do think it's created that sense of, right, let's get behind this. And I think public and private sector in particular are sort of saying, how can we be part of it?